Santa Clarita's hometown station, KHTS. It's the Hometown Morning Show with Tori and Kyle. Make sure you go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. Speaking of the greatest Santa Clarita has to offer, if you like smiling and you like looking good doing it, I know where you can go.
You have good teeth.
Thank you. And you're not just saying that because it's my birthday.
I'm not.
Yeah.
If you don't have teeth like Kyle,
embrace your smile. How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How you doing?
was the introduction. You weren't ready for the introduction, right? Listen, it's great having you here, Dr. Peter Weber from Embrace Your Smile. First time you're joining the Hometown Morning Show with Tori and Kyle. So welcome. I'm not quite sure Andrew, our producer, was, I couldn't get Peter Weber out of my brain, and I finally figured it out. And I said, where do I know that name from? Because I haven't had braces in 30 years. And I was trying to figure it out. And of course, Pilot Pete from The Bachelor. Did you get ribbed about that when he was doing the show, Peter Weber?
No, no one gave me a hard time, but I was made aware that there's a gentleman with my name on a certain reality show.
Yeah, Pilot Pete. So welcome to the Hometown Morning Show. Let's talk about Embrace Your Smile. Dr. Megan LaCornue usually comes in, and we talk to her a lot about what's going on, and she's so wonderful. She's so pleasant. Can we talk behind her back for a second? Is she really that pleasant in the office? Because she's wonderful when she comes here. She's knowledgeable, but she's always smiling. She always has it together. Is that really her? What's going on?
Yeah, she's great.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Just so we get that out of the way. What's happening at Embrace Your Smile? Are there any new things that are going on? We usually talk about, when it's school is back in session, one of the biggest things you guys do are the mouth guards for the sports, to protect the teeth. And we talk about the cool retainers that you have with the decals, and you can get different colors.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of that 30 years ago. It was, you got what you got.
Well, the mouth guard stuff it's a great way for us to give back to the community. As orthodontists, it's a little trickier to, you can't really have like a one-day quick service where you're donating care to give back, because you have a long treatment relationship with patients for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, if you do a dental day, you could do some fillings or do some cleanings, and but that's a great way that we can give back as orthodontists, is to make these mouth guards. So we've had ongoing relationships with multiple of the youth football programs in town for a long time. Obviously, things changed with youth football for a while there.
A little bit, but
COVID.
we're getting back.
Yeah,
we're getting
absolutely.
Back.
So we're making more and more mouth guards again, and hockey players too. Really, any sport where they're required, we seem to be able to get kids interested to wear them. And I try to get kids to wear them from sports that they don't even require them to, like your soccer and even baseball for young kids. It's always a great idea.
Hey,
to
listen,
your teeth.
soccer's not a bad idea, quite honestly, especially if you're goalie, man. That ball, someone kicks a ball. Think about that. Someone kicks a ball and your noggin is in the way. That I think we should kind of look at those things a little bit more than we did in previous years. But, when I was growing up, all the hockey players, professional hockey players, fake teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still a thing? You think that's still a thing today?
Oh, yeah. There's still a lot of hockey players with missing teeth. I know at the NHL level now, they require at least the visors. So you'll see a few players still that don't have that clear visor over their eyes that were grandfathered in if they were playing without it before they made the rule. But there's hardly any left. I only know that because my Tampa Bay Lightning, there's a guy on the team that was still going without a visor a couple years ago. But they don't require like a full face cage. So those guys' teeth are still exposed at pretty much, I'm not a hockey expert, but most of the lower levels, even up to college, I believe they're wearing cages across their faces.
Full on.
But yeah, at the NHL level, you'll be seeing a lot of missing teeth. So.
What made you, I know you've been here for quite a while, but you're originally from Florida. And what made you get into orthodontics rather than just regular dentistry? What intrigued you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Once I was getting interested in dentistry, I kind of had an eye from the beginning on pediatric dentistry and orthodontics, just both because you were dealing with kids and young people. I've always loved interacting with young people and trying to make a positive impact on their lives. And so I kind of had an eye on those two, but I wanted to find out what it was really about, obviously what I was going to be doing. So then when I got into dental school, I would take some time to spend extra time in those clinics and see, kind of what are they doing. And the more I hung out with the orthodontic residents that were at my dental school and got to see kind of what they do, how their process works. I got really, really interested in it, and it was a natural fit for me. My undergrad degree was an engineering degree, and so it was kind of like mouth engineering.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it
put it all
just,
together.
Yeah, everything came together, and I just knew I was passionate about it, and that's sort of how it came about.
Do you, obviously, I guess the majority of your patients are younger children. I'm going to say probably starting around age 8, 9, 10, something like that?
Yes. The kind of standard answer for that is around age 7. The American
okay.
Association of Orthodontics recommends bringing a kid in, but obviously every kid's development is different. We're very conservative, so lots of young kids that come in around that age, or even ages older than that, lots of them don't need anything yet, and that's great. We love to get an early look, kind of get a baseline of where a kid is, where their development is, so we can keep an eye on things. But lots of times, they don't need anything. They don't need any our services at that time. But it's great to start monitoring them and seeing how they're developing. In case there is a problem, we can intercept it.
So you recommend possibly, having the parents bring in a 7-year-old, even if there's kind of like nothing really happening in their opinion, if you're not seeing too much. Because, when I had braces, I didn't think I had to have braces when I was a kid because my teeth were perfectly straight, but I had an overbite.
Sure.
And I didn't know that. It was like, but my teeth look why do I have to have headgear?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you recommend, and I know things have changed quite a bit in the last 30 years, but so you recommend them coming in, getting a baseline, just having a feel for what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no con in it. There's really no reason not to. Obviously, the time to come in for the appointment, but there's absolutely no pressure from us or from our team or from the office ever about treatment or anything like that. So you're basically just coming to get information. We'll tell you what we see, and if there is a need, it's great to know it at that time. If there's something we can intercept early, and like I was saying, a lot of times just need to monitor growth and see if there's future needs. So.
Do you you love kids obviously because you were going between the pediatric dentistry, but do you personally work on adults? Is adults coming in with like Invisalign and that kind of technology now? Is that a big thing?
We have lots of adult patients in our practice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tons. All ages. Everything from little guys like we were talking about to people in their 70s and 80s. I mean, all age groups.
Now, when you're that grown, we only have a couple more seconds.
Oh.
Wow, time flies. When you're that, when you're in adulthood, and, let's say you're 50 years old and you decide you want to fix your teeth or fix your bite or whatever, is it harder to do that once you're fully grown rather than when you're a child? Is the technology a little bit tougher, a little bit longer of a braces?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, oversimplification would be to say, it can be a little bit more complex. It can be a little bit harder. The main difference is you're not growing anymore. So if there's a significant bite discrepancy, that it would be nice to take advantage of growth of a growing patient. Mm-hmm. On an adult, you don't have that option. But with that said, we have a lot of cool tricks in our tool bag to work on things on adults also. So it's never to be discouraged, at least checking it out and seeing what your options are, because we can do a lot of neat stuff for non-growing patients also.
Embrace Your Smile. EmbraceYourSmile.com is where you can find all the information. A quick, do you happen to know the phone number off the top of your head? Okay, so go to Embrace Your Smile. Okay, if you could only...
It's in my cell phone. I have contacts in my cell phone.
Here's the funniest thing ever. When you get to your computer today, I need you to look up this interview on Facebook because we're doing this live on Facebook. And toward the end of the interview, I just want you to see his face. When I ask for the phone number, you need to see his face.
The wonderful ladies up front would have it on the tip of their tongue for either one of our locations.
All you have to do is go to EmbraceYourSmile.com. And if that giggle isn't enough to get you in the office, it's just a fun atmosphere. Dr. Megan LeCornu is a sweetheart, and Dr. Peter Weber is just a pleasure to be around. Loves kids. Adults are welcome too. EmbraceYourSmile.com. Dr. Peter Weber, thank you so much for coming in. It's been fun.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.